Okay, guys, so I don't want to do a long intro to this video. If you saw my last video, I went ahead and basically was going over some of the new features within the Zazzle tool. And I want to go over today the bulk CSV tool today. The bulk CSV tool is basically a tool that's going to not print out, but provide information based on what's currently on Zazzle. And you can see here, whenever I perform a search, I'm using the book club example that I used in my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, I'll just link it in the description. I was going through some of the tools and using them and kind of seeing how they work here. But you can see here we have different examples. Once I search the word book club, we have different products, okay? And we also have different titles, we have different tags, we have different descriptions, and long descriptions. And these will search for literally every single product on the Zazzle marketplace that might have some attention. So I'm going to go ahead and hit download CSV here. I can go ahead and open this CSV. And the nice thing about this CSV, guys, is just to be able to take a look at all the different keywords and tags into the future. Sometimes when I'm doing research, I might not necessarily create products right away on Zazzle. I might just do some research, some basic research, and get back to it later because, it does take a long time. It's not something that I sit there on the computer all day. But you can see there are different keywords that are pretty, I don't want to say obscure, but I saw like the word, I think it was like bibliophile or something like that. It was just right here. I was just clicking on it as I was like looking through. There it is. Bible enthusiastic bibliophile. These are words that I would never have searched for. These are words that I would have never used or never had known. But that one word could be the reason why you get a sale. Now, that was in the description. You could see a long description, which is a little bit different than the short description. But the kind of concept here is that there is so much opportunity in these hidden keywords, and this is kind of like a tool that I would use this for. And I have to make a separate video just for this one tool because I need to talk a little bit more about how I would actually use it. So whenever I go out there on Zazzle and I'm creating a product, before the product is created, there has to be some sort of research. I don't want to go out there and just create products and then hope that I'm going to do well. And I kind of relate this to a example with like throwing the, that game, I forgot what it's called. But basically it's like when, skee ball, there we go, skee ball. The game at like the carnivals or whatever, where you take like this ball and you roll it down like this little runway and the ball kind of goes into these little holes. You could just search it. It's called skee ball, right? I don't want to just blindly throw stuff down there in Zazzle and just hope that something works or something gets a lot of points or success. I don't want to do that because there's many, many people on Zazzle who sell on Zazzle. 99% of the people do that, unfortunately. And that's the reason why they don't make too much money, because they're not doing any kind of research beforehand. And like I said, that example with that spreadsheet could be the exact reason, which is, you can use certain keywords and those keywords will provide greater sales. A good example of this is like the word introvert, right? Here it says introvert-friendly book club tea, whatever. I'm not really concerned about the rest of the words, but the word introvert caught my attention. And this is the way that I think. So if you guys, if you kind of adapt this system, maybe you'll succeed better on Zazzle as well. So this word introvert, I think about it and I say, okay, introvert could really mix with the word book club. I can see how that can potentially vibe together. Now what I could do is I could either kind of take that and create a niche into it, because really what I'm doing is I'm combining two niches here, guys. The book club word and the word introvert, right? When I take those two and I combine them, I'm creating almost like a tertiary niche. But whenever people from the book club niche see it, they might like it. And whenever people from the introvert group might see it, they potentially could like it. Now, I'm going to, if I was a gambling man, I would say that the people who are in the introvert niche who see the word book club, they're going to like it less because not many introverts are in book clubs. But if it happens to be that a book club owner or somebody in the book club happens to be an introvert and they decide to buy 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 t-shirts from me because they think it's nice or they think it relates to them, then that is perfect for the scenario. And to me, it was worth the design, right? Because all it takes is a few minutes to create the design. The design is not the hard part. The hard part is finding the right niches to create the designs in to be able to make the money. So don't ever think it's the other way around, right? A lot of people think it's design that's the hard part. Guys, we live in an age of AI. Anybody can provide phenomenal designs, but not everybody can find the right niches to target. And that's why tools like this can help. So I'm scanning this. I'm looking at different ideas, looking at different tertiary niches that I can think of, and then I can create the design based on that. So I'm not too concerned with the design. I'm more concerned with the keywords that emerge. I'm more concerned with thinking of what kind of niches that I can essentially manufacture and create in my mind. And then I'll go out there and create the products based on further research. But that's how I use the bulk CSV tool to be able to essentially extract tons of keywords from Zazzle, the website, in a specific niche. I think of those and then I expand upon them. All right. So hopefully that helps, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Peace out. Bye.